someone asked me if an apartment locator was worth it. Right? I know that's like similar to asking if Google is worth it because it's free. But anyways, I just wanted to make a response video on that question, right? Because it did make me laugh. It's quite hilarious. Is an apartment locator worth it? So in today's episode, we're going to talk about if an apartment locator is worth it. All right, so in order to understand if apartment locators are worth it, we have to understand what an apartment locator is, what apartment locating is as a business. So I'll briefly go over that stuff, but I did make individual videos on what is an apartment locator and if the business is lucrative and in what cities right over there. So you might want to check out those videos. It's going to break down those topics in a much more detailed manner. But really quickly though, an apartment locator is a licensed real estate agent, unless you're in Colorado, because you don't need a license in Colorado. But anyhow, they're licensed real estate agents that focus on studying the multifamily market, right? So their full-time focus is apartment complexes and how we can match our clients, people that are in the market just interested in renting an everyday apartment, to apartments that meet their criteria, right? This is all done. It all goes down in the apartment locating database, which is sort of our version, the apartment locator version of an MLS. An apartment locating focused database is much more accurate than like apartments.com. Okay, there's a lot of things that apartments.com doesn't offer that an apartment locating sophisticated database that the agents have to pay for does offer. So are apartment locators worth it? They definitely are worth it, right? Because apartment locators on a full-time basis like live and breathe apartments. They're going to know more about the multifamily market and individual deals that are happening in your city more than that of a realtor, because realtors are focused on new development, new homes, resale homes, houses, right? And like a commercial agent is going to be more focused on commercial real estate, office condos, etc., right? So an apartment locator is just a licensed realtor that focuses more on apartments, right? And the cool thing though about working with an apartment locator is that similar to like a buyer's agent, right? You don't pay the apartment locator anything. The service is free, and going through an apartment locator doesn't actually even change your base rent amount. If you were to call the apartment yourself and find out the price and then go through a locator, the locator is going to tell you the same price because nothing changes your base rent amount, and it truly is a free service, right? I think where this question stems out from, is an apartment locator worth it, is I feel like people think that apartment locators try to pressure people into leasing certain properties that might give them a bigger payout or something, right? And so let me just sort of answer that and alleviate that silly concern once and for all, right? The way you're going to truly understand this, and I'm going to help you put it into perspective, that it's always a good idea to work with a locator, is by understanding how the payment process works for an apartment locator. Because if you understand how anyone in business gets paid, then you'll understand their incentives, right? In case there's some bias or some steering or some salesy approach, you need to know how they get paid, right? So apartment locating is one of the purest businesses that I really do respect and appreciate, because there's no salesy like upselling, nothing, right? Because this is how it works. It's all about the payment structure, right? As an apartment locator, we get paid by the apartment building from their marketing budget that is set aside to pay locators with, right? Buildings love working with apartment locators because they'd rather pay out the commission referrals after the tenant moves in, as opposed to running an expensive, PPC or paid ads campaign where they have to come out of pocket and hope they get tenants, right? So buildings love working with real estate agents. They stay very liquid, and it always stays profitable for the buildings, right? But what you guys need to understand is that when you use an apartment locator and you write their name down, the apartment locator doesn't get paid until 30 days or so after you move in. Sometimes it's 60 days, right? And the reason this is happening is because the apartment wants to make sure that the tenant we refer over, likes their apartment, stays in their apartment, and pays rent rent once or twice before we get cut out our check. So if you truly understand that, then that tells you that, it's really within the locator's interest to help you find exactly what you're looking for and to respect your budget, right? Because the thing is, if you work with an apartment locator for free and you tell them that, hey, my max budget is $1,500, right? No locator in their right mind is going to suggest to you properties that are $1,700 or $1,800 when you told them that your max price is $1,500. And here's why: because we know that if we don't help you find exactly what you're looking for, you're, A, not going to pay the app and deposit, right? And B, you're not going to move in. And then C, you're not going to stay there and pay rent once or twice, right? If it's not what you're looking for or if it's out of budget. And if those three things don't happen, right, we don't get a paycheck. So it's really financially in the locator's interest to help you find exactly what you're looking for the first time around and to respect your budget and your needs. Or not, we know you're not going to apply and move in the first place. So like a locator is not going to waste his time and not respect your budget and not show you what you need, right? You tell a locator you need to be in north, whatever your city is, they're not going to send you properties down south because they know you're not going to move in there, right? So, if you guys truly understand that, the payment structure, then you will understand that apartment locators are absolutely worth it because they're real estate licensed professionals that took all the schooling that the $1 million realtors took. It's all the same real estate license, right? They have all the same education, but the only difference is that they focus on apartment deals and multifamily industry, much more than traditional realtors or commercial agents. That's our niche, right? So you might as well work with a professional that every single day is looking at and looking for good apartment deals to present to their clientele, right? So it's a grand idea. The locating database that they pay for is actually more accurate than public websites like apartments.com. There's just many more filters, and these apartment locating database companies really do have pressure to make sure that their data is much more updated, on a weekly basis compared to apartments.com, because they know that licensed professionals are using and paying for that tool to help people find housing. So everything's more accurate when you work with a locator and piggyback off of their database, and there's more filter options, which means they can match you with much better apartments that meet your needs the first time around. And so absolutely, an apartment locator, they're worth it, right? They're going to respect your budget if they're smart, and they're going to match you up with a much more accurate apartment complex over you Googling some random apartment complex or going to apartments.com. That is helpful, but not as helpful, right? So you might as well go to the more helpful resource if it was going to be free, right? So that's how it works. Apartment locators are super, super worth it. But what's even more worth it to you is to actually become an apartment locator, right? Because you can offer a free service to your clients in the same way I explained, and you can earn $1,000 to $2,000 to $3,000 every single time you help one of your clients for free on a daily basis, right? So that's why I've been able to earn 5 digits every single month and 6 figures every single year for the last 7 years as a real estate agent that focuses on this apartment locating niche. It's freaking awesome, and it's a win-win-win for everyone. The buildings love us, they stay liquid, and it's better than a paid marketing campaign. The clients love us because we help them super quick and efficiently, and it's free to them. And then we love it because we're making 6 figures working from home and offering a free service. And this business model will never go away. I've been in it for the last 7 years, and it's only picked up. And the last golden nugget I want to leave you with to consider becoming an apartment locator yourself is that as an apartment locator, you can leverage your own database that you pay for to find the best deals for yourself. And then when you lease apartments, you can use your license and free up free commission for yourself because you're licensed. You can make money off your own rental and get 1 month or 2 month extra on top of the special that's going on in that apartment complex. Isn't that super cool? So that's why I've been able to earn 5 digits every single month and 6 figures at the end of the year for the last 7 years is because I've been a part of this little known industry, and the entire process just makes a whole bunch of sense. So I'd like to invite you guys to our private Facebook group if you're actually interested in maybe considering this business model for yourself, right? Join the podcast, join the private Facebook group. There's tons of value in there. A lot of us apartment locators talking, so you can get advice from myself. I'll be in there, and literally over 1,000 other apartment locators that are in our private Facebook group. If you want their opinion, maybe you want a woman's opinion, maybe you want a broker's opinion that owns their own large business, right? Whatever the case is, join the Facebook group. Ask in there. There's tons of us ready to give a lot of value to you for free, as long as you return the value and help us too when we have questions, right? So join our private Facebook group, check out the podcast, and I want to invite you lastly to our 60-minute long apartment locating webinar presentation where me and Heather, we're going to break down this industry to see if it could really be a good fit for you, and we're going to show you 3 keys on how to succeed and leave your other locator competitors in the dust. And then at the end of that presentation, I'm going to basically ask you to be one of my paid students if you want me to hold your hand and show you A to Z, step by step how to dominate this industry. But whether or not you're interested in my coaching program, at least check out the webinar. There's tons of value in there. 60 minutes. There's a second guest speaker as well, and we're all ready to help you and add value if you're interested in starting in this career. So thank you so much, and I hope this actually added a whole lot of value into your life. I'll see you on the next one.